weather enthusiasts. I'm your host, Pat's Path Predictor. Let's get right into the weather. All right, so this is the situation we have right here, ladies and gentlemen. We have more model runs we need to show with you because the GFS has continued to be very consistent with these hurricane trends of the hurricane hitting the Gulf. So we're going to go ahead and show you the last 4 runs. Those are the newest out. We're going to first start with the 18Z. You start seeing something developing around the 17th, 16th of June, and you start seeing this organizing, developing, start strengthening into a hurricane as it's crossing the Yucatan, straight between the Yucatan and the Cuba right there. And then this starts strengthening into a Cat 1 hurricane right here. This thing then moves hard west towards Mexico right here, continues strengthening, and potentially makes landfall at as a 960 millibar hurricane right here. We're going to go ahead and show you the 850 millibar height and winds. Right here, as you can see, there are well over 100 knots in some areas over here at 850. So that tells me this is going to be a high-end Category 2 or Category 3 hurricane making landfall in Mexico if this model held. Now we're going to go ahead and show you the next run that we have pulled up. Let's go ahead and show you that. The 0Z, which was issued about 12 hours ago. The 0Z has this thing starting to organize on the evening of the 16th and into the 17th. Continues to organize, develop, strengthens into a hurricane in the Western Caribbean Sea. Right here, strengthens quite quickly, makes landfall in the Yucatan Peninsula, and then starts to organize a bit more and move slowly into the Gulf and feed off of the warm waters that are there. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on. This area right here, if we take a look at the Gulf up close, we're looking at 28, 29 degrees Celsius temperatures right here, which, for those of you who do not know, those are about 82 to 84 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's more than enough for hurricane development right there, as well as the OHC, that all these runs actually have this thing moving through. The OHC is absolutely impressive, and if a storm can develop through that, it'll have an easy time organizing and strengthening right here. Now, the next run we're going to go ahead and show you is the 6Z right here. The 6Z run once again starts on the 16th and the 17th of June, organizes, develops, strengthens quickly, makes landfall on the western tip of Cuba, enters the Gulf of Mexico, starts really intensifying as it's approaching the Texas coast right here, making landfall somewhere near Corpus Christi, somewhere over there or something like that. But we're looking at potentially a Category 2 strength right here. We're going to go ahead and show you the winds with this, the 850 millibar winds, approaching over 100 100 knots at 250. So that's definitely a Cat 2 strength right there. That is if this model run is the correct one. Now we're going to go ahead and show you the 12Z run, which was the one that just came out. And this was why I was waiting to post this video for so long. So this is what we got. This thing starts developing on the evening of the 16th into the 17th. Once again, in all these model runs, it develops in the southwestern Caribbean Sea over here, organizes and strengthens into a hurricane, goes through the Yucatan Strait right here, and then it makes a hard left towards Texas right here, makes landfall near Matagorda Bay right there. So those are the 4 runs we've had from the GFS. It's still too far out for the European to really do anything right here, so this is all I'm basically given at this point. However, I do have some problems with this once again. I am taking this more seriously now that the runs have continued to be very consistent with this. However, I want to show you a couple of things that I have issues with. The wind shear around the time of development in this area, at least over here, is not very good in any of these runs. We'll show you, this is the 0Z, this is the 6Z, and this is the 12Z. It's not very good right here. It's like 40 to 50 knots right there. So that's my main issue with that. And if you see that wind shear like that, there's really no room for development unless this system just blows past expectations, similar to what we saw with Arlene. And this wind shear, especially in the west, persists all the way up until it gets to Texas right here, which is kind of bothering me about these runs. That's why I'm not trusting them just yet. I'm waiting to see what further models for the wind shear are going to do. So that wind shear comes down maybe even 10, 20 knots. I could definitely see something happening, but right now it's just not good. But one last thing I want to take a look at is the relative humidity. The moisture at the area of development is very good. It's incredibly good right there, and that could potentially offset any shear that develops in this area right there, because if it can feed off the warm water and the moist air, it definitely could do something. There's a bunch of dry air in the Gulf of Mexico right there, but that's what we got going on. That dry air starts to recede a little bit, and by the time this thing enters the Gulf of Mexico, we do have a little bit of dry air right there that we should be paying attention to, at least according to this run. But by and large, the moist air kind of starts taking dominance, although this slot of dry air is a bit concerning for development right here, because if that ends up entering the core of the hurricane, it could shut its development down if it doesn't fight back effectively. So that's my biggest issue when it comes to that. But the moist air component is not bad. It's been getting better with every run. This is the 0Z right here, and I can show you that. Already with the 0Z, it was showing very moist air compared to where it was yesterday. If we take a look at the 0Z of yesterday, yeah, the 0Z moisture was just all over the place right over here, and starting to intrude into this. Now, this was a separate run, but the moisture, in my opinion, looks a lot better with these runs today than they did yesterday. So we'll have to continue to take a look at that. And what's really going to decide it is the shear. Is it going to be something that is going to hold it back? Is it water and moisture going to make up for that? We're not 100% sure. The shear's weaker than expected. Maybe I could see this happening, but we'll continue to update you here on the Pat's Path Predictor channel. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and wrap this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. It helps us out and helps us make more videos like these. The goal of this channel is to get more people engaged with weather. But with that being said, have a wonderful day, guys. Stay safe.